Hello everyone, I'm Sreeja. I hope you're having a good day. First of all, I want to thank Codebasics for giving this opportunity to work on a project. This presentation is about analysis and insights of Codecabs, which is a cab service company focusing on Tier 2 cities. Moving on to the table of contents, we have introduction, dashboard preview of Power BI, and the primary questions, and we will look into some of the secondary questions as well. So, looking into the company overview, GoodCabs is a cab service company that has been launched 2 years ago and has established a strong presence in the Indian market, specifically focusing on Tier 2 cities. It stands out by supporting local drivers, helping them build sustainable livelihoods in their hometowns while ensuring quality service for passengers. Goals and objectives. Good Cabs aims to achieve significant growth, enhance passenger satisfaction, and meet ambitious performance targets for the year 2024 to strengthen its market position and improve customer experience. To achieve its goals and objectives, Good Cabs are trying to evaluate key performance metrics including trip volume, passenger satisfaction, repeat passenger rate, trip distribution, and the balance between new and repeat passengers. This data-driven approach will help refine strategies and meet its targets. This is the home page of the dashboard where we have city view, passenger view, and target view. Looking into the city. In the city view, we have metrics such as total trips, total distance travel, total new trips, total fare, and total passengers. We can filter the data on this dashboard based on passenger type as well as the cities. You can see how the data varies by each city. Jaipur has the highest average fare and trip distance, while the least being Surat. Looking into the city-wise averages passenger and driver ratings, we can see that Mysore tops the list, while the least being the Surat. We can also have a look at the most traveled cities from Good Cabs and the least traveled ones too. We also have options to navigate to other dashboards from the city view, such as the target view and the passenger view. Let us dive into the passenger view. In the passenger view, we can see metrics such as total repeated trips. There are around 249,000 repeated trips, and the total repeated passengers are 61,000, and the average fare cost from Good Cabs is 254 rupees, while the average trip distance is 19.13 kilometers. We can filter the data on this dashboard based on a day type such as weekday or weekend, or passenger type, or based on cities. Moving further into monthly trends, we can see in the month of May we have the highest repeat passenger rate of 33.47%. If we see through the repeat passenger rate across cities, we can see Surat has highest repeat passenger rate. In the repeat passenger count and trip frequency percentage by trip count, most trip count is by 2 trips, and they are around 18,000, which occupies the most space in the trip frequency percentage. Now let us dive into the target view. In the target view, we have metrics such as total target trips, which are 429,000, and the trips target achievement rate percentage is 99.3. They have exceeded their targets in the average passenger rating achievement wise, which is 109.4%. It indicates that passengers are liking the good cab services, and the new passenger target has been achieved by 95.6%. We can also see the monthly comparison between the total target trips versus the actual trips, and also the monthly overview between the target versus the actual new passengers. Moving on to this visual, we can see by how much percentage in each month we can see the trip targets, new passenger goals, and rating achievements has been performed. We can navigate into the home view as well as the city view from this dashboard, and we can filter the data on this dashboard based on day type, passenger type, and based on the city as well. Now we'll look into our preliminary research questions. Identifying the top 3 and bottom 3 cities by total trips over the entire analysis period. The most traveled cities are Jaipur, Lucknow and Surat, Jaipur being the top, and the least traveled cities are Visakhapatnam, Coimbatore and Mysore. This can be due to Visakhapatnam is still a growing city and it requires very much infrastructure and other things to develop. So people moving in and moving out can be very less. So it can be one of the reason of why the Visakhapatnam is the least traveled city. And next coming to Coimbatore, even though Coimbatore is developing city, it is far away from the capital city, making it having a less number of trips. Average fare per trip. Calculate the average fare per trip for each city and compare it with city's average trip distance. Identify the cities with highest and lowest average fare per trip to assess pricing efficiency across locations. If we see the visual, we see that Jaipur has the highest average fare per trip and the lowest being Surat, and it's the same comparing to the trip distance. Jaipur has the highest trip distance while the lowest being Surat. The bars indicates the average fare cost while the line chart indicates the average trip distance. Average ratings by city and passenger type. Calculate the average passenger and driver ratings for each city. Segmented by passenger type. Identify the cities with highest and lowest average ratings. Mysore has the highest average passenger rating as well as the driver rating. Next being the Jaipur and the least being Surat. Even though Surat is the third most traveled city, it has the least passenger rating and driver rating. So good cabs should work on the Surat to improve the passenger rating as well as the driver rating. Peak and low months demand by city. For the city Jaipur, we have the highest total number of trips in the month of February, followed by the month of January and then March. It is the same for every city, Chandigarh, Coimbatore and Indore. They have their highest number of trips in January and the lowest being the June. So January, February and March have the highest number of trips, with February has the highest trips in the overall cities, whereas the least being June. Repeat passenger frequency and city contribution analysis. We look into this visual, we see that two trips has the highest number of trip count with 18,429, whereas the trip frequency is 30%, while the least being the 10 trips. The city with the highest two trips is Jaipur. Jaipur has the highest count because of its tourism based and business based city, whereas if we see Mysore, Mysore is not such a business based city, so it has the least number of repeated trips, whereas cities such as Kochi, where it is tourism based, the number of two trips is high, whereas the number of seven trips and eight trips are very low. And in a business based city such as Surat, we see that the amount is equally distributed between the trip frequencies. So, the cities which are combination of both business and tourism based has the highest number of trip frequency, where the cities of business have the medium trip frequency, where the cities with tourism has the least trip frequency. Evaluating monthly performance against targets for total trips, new passengers, and average passenger ratings. Let us see month by month. In the month of January, for average passenger rating, achievement wise is 111.7%. It is being the highest, while the least being 107.8% in the month of June for the average passenger rating achievement wise. And for the new passenger target achievement rate, we see that in the month of April, we have more number of new passenger target achievement rate. We have crossed the expectations, while for the trips target achievement rate, the highest being in the month of February, where they have more trips target achievement rate. This is happening. The most number of highest trips are in the month of January, February, while the least being either May or June. This can be attributed to their This can be attributed because business and tourism focused cities such as Jaipur will have the highest, while only the business focused cities have the highest trips in the month of March, whereas only tourism focused cities have highest trips in the month of May and June. Repeat passenger rate by month. We see that month May has highest repeat passenger rate, followed by the June, where the least being January and February. Repeat passenger rate across cities. Surat has the highest repeat passenger rate, followed by Lucknow and Indore, and the cities with the least repeat passenger rate is Mysore and then followed by Jaipur. Even though Jaipur has the highest average trip distance and the average fare cost, the repeat passenger rate is very less. Even though Surat stands third in the most traveled city, it has the highest repeat passenger rate. This indicates that the cities which are based on business have the highest repeat passenger rate. Moving further into the secondary questions. What factors influence repeat passenger rate, such as quality of service, competitive pricing, or city demographics, might contribute to lower or higher repeat passenger rates in different cities? Are there any correlations with socio-economics or lifestyle patterns in these cities? Now let us further dive into the factors such as city demographics. Cities with vibrant tourist attractions or bustling markets often see higher repeat passenger rates as travelers frequently require transportation for round trips. Additionally, urban centers with high population density and employment hubs tend to generate more consistent demand for cab services. We see that Jaipur has the highest average cab rating and average trip distance. As Jaipur is both tourism based and business based city, it has highest repeat passenger rates as well as the highest population density, leading for highest repeat trips. And the competitive pricing. Affordable pricing can attract more passengers, particularly in price sensitive markets. However, while competitive rates draw customers, maintaining profitability and enhancing the value proposition, such as loyalty programs or discounts for frequent riders, can help convert first-time passengers into repeat ones. A good cab service can utilize the loyalty programs to get back their customers more often. Quality of service. Passengers are more likely to return if they experience comfortable and well-maintained vehicles. We like to travel in a well-maintained vehicle as it gives a more comfortable experience and a well experience that you tend to travel on the service again. And friendly and professional drivers and a user-friendly app for easy booking, reliable tracking and seamless payments, prompt and effective resolution of customer queries and issues. Answering the customer queries and issues on time leaves a good impression on the customer that they tend to repeat the cab booking service on good cabs. Higher service standards create trust and satisfaction, increasing the likelihood of repeat usage. In business, having trust and satisfaction from customers is the highest asset you can have. Correlations with socioeconomics, employment patterns. Cities with higher proportion of working professionals may have greater demand for daily commute services, contributing to repeat passengers. Uh, Having cities having IT services or good IT economy, where people travel daily uses the cab services frequently. Economic status. Wealthier populations may prioritize convenience over cost, opting for cab services even at higher prices. Access to e-services. In cities with widespread access to digital platforms, familiarity with app-based services can boost cab usage. Lifestyle patterns. Rural versus urban lifestyle. In rural or semi-rural areas, the need for cab services may be limited due to lower mobility requirements, whereas in urban areas the interaction with the social environment is very high. So cities with active social lifestyles, events or nightlife see higher cab usage as people frequently travel for leisure and entertainment. Tourism versus business demand impact. How do tourism seasons for local events impact good cabs demand patterns? Would tailoring marketing efforts to these events increase trip volume in tourism oriented cities? The first one being the tourism impact. Popular tourist attractions draw visitors from across the state and country. Increased tourist footfall leads to higher market activity and mobility needs. Tourists without personal vehicles rely heavily on cab services, increasing demand during the tourist seasons. Impact of local events. Events such as spiritual gathering, cultural festivals, and tech conferences significantly boost footfall in the city. These occasions further elevate the demand for cab services. Seasonal fluctuations. During off seasons or periods without major events, there is often a noticeable decline in mobility demand. Understanding these patterns is essential for optimizing cab service operations. Tailoring marketing efforts. Promoting cab services during festivals, conferences, and peak tourist seasons can attract event attendees and visitors. Event specific offers. Providing discounts or packages for event participants such as festival goers or conference delegates can increase the trip volume. Partnerships. Collaborating with hotels, event organizers, or tourism boards to offer integrated transportation options can capture a large customer base. Emerging mobility trends and good cabs adaptation. What emerging mobility trends, such as electric vehicle adoption, green energy use, are impacting the cab service market in Tier 2 cities? Let us see for electric vehicle adoption. Increasing awareness of environmental sustainability and government incentives are driving the adoption of electric vehicles in Tier 2 cities. And also electric vehicles offer low operational cost compared to the traditional petrol and diesel vehicles, making them more attractive to drivers or the fleet owners. And green energy and sustainability. Consumers are now becoming more environmentally conscious and preferring services that prioritize eco-friendly initiatives. So in this way, the electric vehicles can be a very good option for the good cabs. And next, should good cabs consider integrating electric vehicles or eco-friendly initiatives to stay competitive? Yes, they should consider integrating electric vehicles or eco-friendly initiatives because EVs are much cost friendly and the drivers will get attracted to the EVs because they have reduced operational costs, which increases the earning potential for drivers and making the platform more attractive to them. In turn, more drivers uses the good cabs, which increase your passenger rate as well as the driver rate. And regulatory compliance. Many governments are now offering subsidies, incentives, and the reduced registration fees for EVs, which can benefit both drivers and good cabs. Partnership opportunities with local businesses. Are there good opportunities for good cabs to partner with local businesses such as hotels, malls, or event venues to boost demand and improve customer loyalty? Partnership opportunities with local businesses. Good cabs can significantly benefit from partnership with local businesses where partnering with high traffic businesses and tourism heavy areas ensures steady ride bookings and value added services like discounts or bundled travel packages improve the customer experience. making them come to the good cab services again and again, and it boosts the visibility of good cabs. So core marketing campaigns and presence in prominent location raise brand awareness. What we can recommend good cabs is that it can collaborate with hotels and event venues for exclusive ride services, offer discounts for customers, and set up designated pickup and drop off zones for their convenience. So data collection for enhanced data driven decisions to make good cabs more data driven and improve its performance across key metrics. What additional data should good cabs collect? Consider data that could provide deeper insights into customer behavior, operational efficiency, and market trends. Under customer behavior, we can collect data such as age, gender, and their occupation to identify target audience segments. And we can also take the trip purpose such as commute, leisure, and we can also ask for customer feedback. So this helps us understand their reasons and get us deeper insights. And if they're canceling the rides, we can ask why passengers cancel their rides, it to help improve the service. And operational efficiency, so what data we could require more is like driver working hours, acceptance rates, and accept average response times to optimize the operations, and data on vehicle idle times, maintenance schedules, and fuel efficiency for cost optimization. And we could also, it would also be more helpful if we have data of peak versus off peak patterns, like more granular trip data to enhance resource allocation during peak hours. And coming to market trends, so if we have data like competitor analysis, so data on pricing, services, and promotions offered by competitors, it would help us keep our prices and services a bit more comfortable to the passengers. And local events and tourism data, like information on festival, conferences, and events to anticipate demand spikes. It helps us understand during which time or during which season the trip rates are higher. And economic indicators like regional income levels and fuel price trends to predict market behavior. And advanced analytic opportunities, if we consider like customer lifetime value data to calculate and analyze long-term customer profitability, and track how discounts and promotions influence repeat trips and new passenger acquisitions. Thank you, Code Basics, for giving this project to work on.